Radio J-Com.
Hello and welcome again to Rambling with Barbara. You're listening to Radio J-Com, broadcasting on www.radiojcom.com and on YouTube. And in the studio today, I've got my old pal Dennis Fisher. Hi, Dennis.
Hi, Barbara.
Welcome again.
Thank you for asking me.
Dennis,
yes, ma'am.
Today is quite a significant day as we are recording. It's the 31st of October.
It is.
Such a lot is supposed to happen today.
Yes.
And I think we'll start off by saying, well, what was supposed to happen didn't. Let's hope what is going to happen happens. So Brexit is en veille at the moment.
Yes.
And you got a smile on your face because the speaker is stepping down.
Indeed.
Okay.
I thought they were going to have to send the SAS in to get him out of that chair, but I did make a comment earlier this week about the fact that Brexit would probably not happen on the 31st, which indeed it hasn't.
An oracle or something?
But thankfully and finally we've got rid of that duplicitous little man, John Burkell.
Well, what can I say about that? But having said that, there were so many plaudits to him.
I know.
Do you think that was a bit of theatre?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, one of the columnists in the paper today said there was more honey smoothed on him than a tin full of Lyle golden syrup or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. But Boris took him to task a little bit.
He's
a tremendous orator, Boris,
yes.
and there's a bit of venom in his remarks.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So that, but carry on.
Okay, now, talking about Brexit.
Yes.
We are now going to have a general election.
Yes.
And I've got a thing here, and it says there are reasons. It says 12, and I'm not going to read them all out. Why this is going to be the hardest poll ever to predict.
Yep.
I think so too.
Oh, absolutely.
I know what we don't want to happen, but.
Are you talking personally or generally?
Well, I can only talk personally.
Okay.
But I can say quite a few people agree with me, but the one person we don't want in, I'm not going to mention his name because everybody knows who we're talking
Jeremy
about.
Corbyn, of course not.
But you know how people have said, well, I'm going to emigrate if he gets in. Do you think Britain will become an empty island? If he gets in?
No, I don't for 1 minute. Not for one moment. But Parliament has been paralysed now for weeks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is probably the only direction that could be taken to get us out of this mire. It's awful. What the outcome will be, nobody knows. I know what I personally hope it will be. But there's so many different factions here.
Oh gosh, absolutely. It's actually, I was going to say, I would think one of the hardest that there's ever been. You know, in the history of general elections. You know, but even so, we have said, you know, one night we go to bed saying, "Oh, this is going to happen." We wake up in the morning and it's the absolute opposite. So. It's a difficult one, and it's a hard one.
I've been appalled at the hypocrisy in the House of Commons. I really have. You have Jeremy Corbyn standing up yesterday or the day before saying that Boris Johnson had said he would rather die in a ditch than fail to get us out on the 31st. Totally ignoring the fact that every proposal that Boris and the Conservatives have put forward, Corbyn and his cohorts have effectively blocked it.
They've blocked it, but they have said before the vote that they're going to block it.
No intentions of passing it.
No intent, absolutely.
No.
I don't know.
So I'm just looking. I apologise to the listeners if you can hear rustling of paper because we're whizzing through cuttings and
we're
bits
the only
here.
programme that's allowed to rustle.
Right. Remainers get tactical. Already, Remain voters are plotting to rob Boris Johnson of a Commons majority through tactical voting. Second referendum backers are planning to disrupt the election by urging their supporters to vote for the MP most likely to produce a Remain government. The Best for Britain campaign yesterday unveiled a voting app to guide anti-Brexit voters. The anti-Brexit group predicts the Tories will win a majority of 44 unless at least a third of Remain voters cast tactical votes. I just want to ask a question generally. You're the only person that can answer me, but did I dream that we actually had a referendum in 2016 where 17.4 million people voted to leave?
Well, if you did, I had the same dream.
Because this is totally ignored and has been relegated to irrelevance now.
This is it. And has been allowed to be ignored. That is, quite something. Absolutely. I don't understand then that if there's a general election, will there be another referendum? Because it's a different.
Only if Labour win. Only if Labour win. Because they already are initiating support from Wee Bernie in Scotland, who said that she will support him if he would grant Scotland also a second referendum. And we'll listen for the next 6 weeks. This is all going to have. Personally, it's meat and drink. I love it. But we'll see.
Yes, it was certainly, and I think the discussions on Ramble are going to go on for a few weeks now.
Oh, I would think
but
so.
But also, I've got, there were some £50 coins that were processed. Special Brexit £50 coins, stamped with October the 31st. These could become collector's items.
I didn't think they actually circulated any.
Well,
but maybe they did.
If they printed them, somebody will have had their hand in the bin, I suppose. Around 1,000 of the coins, which also carry the words peace, prosperity, and friendship, are so far thought to have been made for a trial. Right. So there must be some.
In circulation.
Well, maybe not in circulation, but around that somebody could get hold of one. Yeah.
Now, just continuing with politics, can I just read you this little bit? Campaigning to succeed John Bercow, Labour MP Harriet Harman is boosted by a 2-page Why I Want to Be Speaker interview in The Guardian, my favourite paper. Where else? But she fails to mention the £155,000 salary, roughly twice that of an MP, the gold-plated pension equivalent to that of a PM, the keys to Speaker's house inside the Palace of Westminster, generous entertainment and travel allowances, sundry overseas conferences, automatic invitations to top state events, a state carriage, not least a private loo behind the Speaker's chair.
Oh, that's where he goes to when he hides behind the chair.
Right. So that, it's just your ordinary everyday job. But
having said that, and I was saying tennis tickets and all sorts of things, royal weddings, etc., etc., etc. Have all, your favourite person has been attending simply because of his position.
Absolutely.
He would never have been to any of these things. But also, we haven't mentioned his lovely wife.
Oh, yes.
So, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were talking about, he was supposed to be the man for the common people.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, I won't say what they said about his wife.
No. So, she's a common person for the common people.
You said it, not me.
I did indeed,
That's your personal opinion, not
absolutely,
Jacob's.
of course.
So, I've got some of the things that he has said about some of the politicians, and one of them was Esther McVeigh. I'm reminded of the feeling when one thinks the washing machine will stop, but it doesn't. How rude is that?
He never held back on his comments.
No, he didn't. He didn't. So, I won't read the others.
No.
We don't really want to go on about it.
No.
So, have we done with Brexit for today?
For the minute, I think there are.
Well,
we might come back to it. But
we might come back to it.
Here's an interesting piece.
Okay.
Kurt Cobain's cardigan
Oh yes.
which he hasn't been washed apparently since 1993, was sold at auction for £260,000.
Yeah. Well, people like these souvenirs of stars or people in general who are no longer with us.
£260,000. What could it be like after not being washed since 1993?
A bit smelly, I would think.
Goodness me.
But just going back to politics, which we're not really, but we're going to be politically incorrect with our first music.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I gotta go away.
But baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has been
Hoping that you
so
drop in.
very nice.
I'll hold your hands, they're just like
My
ice.
mother will start to worry.
Beautiful, what's your
My father
hurry?
will be pacing the floor.
Listen to the fireplace
So really,
roar.
I better scurry.
Beautiful, please don't
Well,
worry.
maybe just a half a drink more.
Put some music on while I
The
pour.
neighbors might think,
But baby, it's bad out there.
say, what's in this drink?
No cabs to be had out there.
I wish I knew how
Your eyes are like
to
starlight
break
now.
the spell.
I'll take your hat, your hair looks
I ought
swell.
to say no,
Mind if
sir.
I move a little
At least I'm
closer?
gonna say that I tried.
What's the sense of hurting my pride?
really can't
Oh,
stay.
darling, don't hold out. Baby, it's cold outside.
I simply must go.
Baby, it's cold outside.
The answer is no.
Oh, darling, it's cold outside.
This welcome has been
I'm lucky that you
so
dropped in.
nice and warm.
Look out the window at the
Sister
storm.
will be suspicious.
And your lips are
My brother
delicious.
will be there at the door.
Waves upon the tropical shore.
Maybe I'll find suspicious.
Gosh, your lips are
Or maybe just a
delicious.
cigarette more.
Never such a blizzard
I
before.
gotta go home.
Baby, it freezes out there.
Lend me your coat.
It's up to your knees out there.
Really been
I
great.
feel when you touch my
Don't you
hand.
see?
How can you do this thing to me?
Talk tomorrow.
Think of my life on
At least I will pretend it
If you got pneumonia and
I really
died,
can't
get over that old doubt. Baby, it's
Baby, it's cold outside, and that was Alexander Rybak and Anne Sophie. Now, I haven't heard of those two singers before, but I like that version of that song. Now, when I said before we had a break that it was politically incorrect,
Yes.
apparently there's some discussion on at the moment because it's of a man trying to persuade a woman to stay. This song was written in 1944 when things were just that little bit different. So also there's John Legend has written some new lyrics for it to bring it up to date, where it says, say what's in this drink, no cabs to be had out there, is what he's saying. He's replaced it with, what will my friends think? I think he says, I think they should rejoice. If I had one more drink, and he sings, it's your body, your choice, to make it politically correct. Now, I can remember you saying it's a bit before your time, Dennis.
Of course.
Yes. There was a film with Red Skelton and Betty Garrett, and she did the singing, holding him back, which was absolutely hilarious. I don't know if you remember that film.
I don't.
Some of our listeners might, but for those who don't, it really was quite funny, and they should show that today, actually, just to show that it works both ways. What do you think about political correctness.
I'm glad you said that. We have actually touched on this on previous occasions, but what about this one, where Oxford University becomes the latest to insist on jazz hands at student events? Why? Because applause might upset people with the noise. Now, how would that go down with the Deaf Society, for goodness sake? Where people who would give their eye teeth to be able to hear can read that you can't applaud, you've got to wave your hands about. Now, there's just a little bit in the paper today that says, is there such a thing as a slow jazz hands instead of a slow hand clap? But political correctness has gone crazy.
Absolutely.
You get one or two people who see fit to make a complaint about something, anything, my personal space, I don't like what I'm looking at. Also, I did read that at the university they've passed a motion that says if during the course of a lecture a subject is raised by the lecturer which causes any of the students discomfort or upset, they are free to get up and walk out of the lecture. Have you ever heard such nonsense in all your
Well,
life?
surely if they go, when you say subject, when they go into a lecture, they know what what it's about.
Yes.
Unless the lecturer is giving her or his, being politically correct, both of them, their personal opinion on something. But then that's what they do, and the student is entitled, I would think, to argue at the end of the...
But they don't want that. They just don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. Cecil Rhodes was a great contributor to one of the university colleges. I can't remember exactly which one it was.
Yeah, there's a statue.
There's a statue. But the irony of this is that there are a few students who are in receipt of the scholarship that is paid for by the Cecil Rhodes Foundation. They are campaigning to have his statue removed.
Yeah.
Because of his far-flung alleged associations with the slave trade.
Yeah.
It's ambiguous. I don't understand it.
Well, there are lots of things we don't understand, and you know what, Dennis? I don't have the answer to it.
No.
Sorry about that, but
All right.
you know, just talking about questions, it's got, Dad, how many tricky questions do I ask you? Parents are asked nearly 10,000 questions a year by their children. That equates to 27 a day. We like surveys on JCOM. This is a survey has been made. Don't know how much it costs to run this survey, but you know what?
Yes.
The 10 hardest questions posed by children aged 5 to 11 are: where do babies come from? Why can't I stay up as late as you? And why do I have to do what you tell me? Now that's going back to a little bit to the students and the lecturer. You know, why do I have to listen to what you're telling me? So there we are.
Well,
questions.
yes, because they also now know platform speakers who would raise a controversial subject with which they do not agree. Surely a university is a place of debate and exchange of views. And
that's my point.
But
Yeah.
Jermaine Greer was blocked from going because they didn't like her views.
Yeah.
Well, listen to her for heaven's sake and challenge her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't just...
Absolutely. Yeah, so...
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Right.
If you just heard that noise...
That was my
listeners,
phone.
Was that your phone? I
thought
thought we had a cuckoo outside.
No, I have turned the sound
Oh,
down,
right.
but,
well, that was naughty. We
didn't...
put our phones in boxes here, folks.
Mine's as
so
good
we
as.
don't hear it.
It's as good as...
Okay, so will you ask questions by your kids? And could you answer the question, or did you not want to answer the question?
Well, it depends. There were...
Did you come straight to the point?
Yeah, but I didn't really want to sit and argue and debate with a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old at some point.
Well, you see, that's it. It says, why do I have to do what you tell me to do?
Because I'm older,
and
cleverer,
wiser,
and bigger than you.
Bigger than you. Oh, now then somebody would have something to say about that. Intimidation.
Well, of course, if I was in Glasgow.
Not much bigger.
If I was in
I would like
that's
to,
true.
Dennis.
That's true. I used to be before
Sorry
I got
about
married,
that.
yeah. Right.
Okay. What have you got
you know the guy that's dubbed in al-Baghdadi, whatever his name
Oh, right,
is?
okay,
Do you know how much he's got? £19 million for turning him in.
Well, I'll tell you something, I wouldn't like to be him in this day and age.
Well, they've got to keep him well hidden, haven't
Exactly.
Otherwise, the guy's in big trouble.
So as soon as he starts spending his 90 million, does he give it away?
I don't know.
You know, that's
a problem for him to deal with.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yes, I suppose so. Now, again, talking about not political correctness, but BBC correctness.
Yes.
And this, they're going on about the women who are saying that they're not paid as much as men. For similar. Now, similar is not same, is it?
No.
Now, this Samira Ahmed, I've seen her. Yes, she's good. I like her. Also, she is a black woman, and there are also some black women who say there are not enough black people on the television, and it comes out where they're saying that the BBC, possibly ITV as well, I would think, that there are a lot of all-white days, not enough people who are non-white. So it gives certain programmes that have, panellists, and the whole panel is white, and the quizmaster or the what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Presenter.
The presenter, thank you, is also white, which gives it an all-white programme, and they're saying there are not enough panels with people of colour. We don't use that expression anymore.
No.
But so, what's your point on that?
Well, I think you have to, shall I say, allocate these jobs, positions, or whatever, according to a person's ability and their talent. I don't really see.
My point exactly.
I
with
don't see
everything.
that what colour they are
Well,
comes into
no,
it.
exactly. Now, my point originally was she was claiming that she did a programme that was very similar to Jeremy Vine.
Yeah.
And she didn't get paid as much as Jeremy Vine, and she objected.
Well,
and then because of all these discussions in the BBC, his salary was reduced because of, and then he objected because he didn't want his salary reduced, but he didn't think it was worth it when his fee went down. He went down to £1,500 a show. She was paid £440.
right, it's a big disparity, I agree, but
was her programme the same as Jerry?
I was going to make a comparison here. Let's take sport.
Yeah.
Some of the top sports people are paid a lot more than the lesser sports people.
Yes.
So in a football team, any given football team,
it's obscene.
So would you say that the star player in the team should either have his salary cut, or the lesser players in the team they be paid the same?
Yeah.
It's according to your ability, surely.
Exactly. And I think this discussion, I would say argument, this discussion will probably be going on a lot longer because they are saying that your work is not equal. The BBC are saying. So either they're going to have
power, hasn't it?
Either they're going to have to give her more work to make her, you know, more equal.
Higher profile.
Yes.
Yeah.
So some people are more equal than others. And on that note, we're going to have another break for music.
Oh, right. Okay.
There's no reason to believe she
Phil Collins, bit of a blast from the past, that, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just going back to what we were talking about before, about the BBC, and apparently Radio 1's DJs, some of them, are going to have the Christmas period off. They're giving them a bit of a break. And they're going to allow students, hospital radio people to come in, and lesser known disc jockeys come in and take over from them. So will some of the lesser known DJs complain that they're not being given the Christmas period off? You know, it's going to be a rolling...
Surely that's the time when these people should be at the microphone at Christmas, presenting things like that.
Yeah. Now, going on to adverts, which is not BBC.
Yes.
You know the Walker adverts with Gary Lineker?
Yes.
Well, guess what? They've got a star guest coming in to help him out. It's somebody who just needs a little bit of extra money. Mariah Carey.
Yeah, I did read about that.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, poor
and
Gary.
Walker's Crisps, it's alleged that they are paying her £9 million for this advert, and she's going to stand there with this, will be an empty bag of Walker Crisps, I'm assuming. Now then, instead of spending $9 million on Mariah Carey, why don't they put more crisps in their packets?
And less air.
Yes, that's been said.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, I'm not sure, in my opinion, that getting famous people to advertise things sells more of a product. What do you think?
I don't know. I was thinking, would people buy any more if it was me that was advertising?
Well, there you are. You see, that's my point, you know.
Well, yeah, we've just talked about that.
You would go for half of $9 million, wouldn't you?
Well, I'd be pushed.
And I'd be your agent.
I'd be pushed to go for half.
Well, I'll be your agent, and I'll let you do it for half. If that's all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What have you got there then?
Still, we'll just stay on a serious note for a moment here. All this howling and
yes.
Screaming about the NHS being short of money and things like that.
Well, her $9 million could have gone to that, couldn't it?
NHS are paying a consultant £2,000 a day, and his job is to help the NHS cut costs.
Yes.
And he's actually does it for 1 day a week. By either telephone or video link or whatever, and he's living in Spain. £2,000 a day.
It's not only that he's living in Marbella.
Yes.
Which, you know,
well, that's Spain,
says a lot. Yeah, I know, but it says a lot more.
Absolutely, yeah.
By saying Marbella, he lives in a gated property.
Yeah. And he's hired as a, quote, recovery director for a health board that has a budget deficit of $40 million. They're paying him £2,000 a day.
Yeah.
You couldn't make it
That
up,
was a
could
big
you?
sigh, Dennis.
Yeah,
no,
you couldn't.
No,
make
you
it up.
couldn't. And it really, it beggars belief, actually. But I've got another, on that note here, I also read that. And it said what he should do is give his signature to something, and it should be his own P45.
He's set to pocket more than £350,000 over 9 months. That's enough to pay for 14 nurses or 9 doctors. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, shall we talk about Strictly?
Go on then. Yes. Why not?
It has, in my home.
Humble opinion.
In my home, it's sort of re-elevated its position quite high, because at the beginning of this series I wasn't at all enthusiastic.
Because you didn't know half the people who were.
Well, I didn't know more than half.
Go on.
But this is all. It's descended now. It's into online abuse and everything.
Yes. But these things do. There are these people around these horrible people who just catch on to.
But it's an
whoever.
entertainment program. It's light-hearted. It's one for
Exactly.
me. It's one of the best programs on TV between now and Christmas.
Yeah.
Really look forward to it. It's
Yeah.
spectacular.
Yeah.
It's glamorous. It's
And the
glitzy.
professional dancers.
Wonderful.
Are
Absolutely wonderful.
Incredible. Yeah.
Although I was taken very much by last week's couple that were booted out, Johannes Radeby,
Yes.
dancing in high heels.
Yes.
I mean, he's
you
absolutely fabulous, but the
Yeah,
high
yeah.
heels, wow.
Well, have you not seen some on television? There've been some of they've been advertising, and there has been the film Kinky Boots.
Yes.
Well, it reminded me of that.
Yes.
actually. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
he is great. He is great. He's a newcomer. To
yes.
Strictly.
Well,
I think we'll see more
short-lived
of
newcomer.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course there's
But
that.
this is something I don't understand.
Go on.
And I'm not too bad at maths, but I do not understand how somebody who gets 1 vote
Yeah.
and somebody who gets 2 votes
Yeah.
and the person who gets 2 votes doesn't win. It's the head
Because it
has
boils.
to come in
Yeah.
and give her
The
vote
the casting
to
vote.
the casting vote to the other
Only
group, and that makes it 2-2 in my estimation.
Well, you can't have a draw. That's why.
No,
That's why they're
But why
instituting-
doesn't the person with the 2 votes win?
Because it's not a case of that, is it?
Well, no, it isn't.
If you've got
But I
4
don't
people
understand.
and
Yeah,
what's her name, Shirley.
yeah, Ballas.
Shirley Ballas has the casting vote.
Yeah.
So in actual fact, she gets 2 votes. She gets hers and the decisive vote. Whether we agree with her decision, I personally didn't agree with it.
No,
this
and a
week.
lot of people
I thought it
didn't
was
either. Somebody
diabolical.
the other person on the panel didn't either.
But
Did you see the look she got?
I know.
Mhm.
She'd probably get some death threats online now.
It'd be interesting to see if the person who she voted for is in the last 2 again.
Yeah. I was a bit upset to read that
Yes.
Will Bailey's
Yes.
had to pull out.
Yes, permanently.
Yes.
On this, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it is a shame.
He's
Yes, he was doing
really
very, very well.
conquered his adversity,
Yeah,
and of course he's
absolutely.
an international Olympic table tennis player, which of course is my sport. So
Yes, it is. Yes,
and
of
to
course.
do achieve what he has done with
Yeah.
his disability is
Yes,
amazing.
it was a very nasty accident, but when you think about it, he had to jump off a table.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether it was a good thing for somebody with a disability like his to ask him to jump.
He didn't bend his leg.
No, well,
apparently.
this is
maybe
it.
you're right, love. I don't know.
Well, I've got something here that might make you laugh,
Go
or
on.
might make our listeners laugh, talking about accidents.
Yes.
And it is a letter somebody has sent in that, you get these cold calls.
Yes.
Okay, I took the advice and told a phone scammer my accident was happening tomorrow. Without missing a beat, they said, then I'll get back in touch tomorrow.
That's very, very clever, very quick.
Yeah.
Yes, that's turning the tables somewhat, isn't it? For one
I
of the
like that
interviewers.
one. Yes, I really did like that one.
Right.
So, you've got something else there?
Yes, it's sort of just putting a little damper on it now about this terrible, terrible tragedy with those 39 migrants found in the back
Yeah.
of the lorry. That's awful. It's awful.
Well, it's more than awful.
Now,
yeah.
this raised a question in my mind. If you watched Question Time last Thursday night, they had,
No, I didn't actually.
they
I
had
usually
Ken
do.
Loach on,
Oh, right, okay.
that lovely extreme left winger.
Yeah.
And if you listen to Ken Loach, this country is going down the tubes rapidly. There are more people dying of starvation, people using food banks, and there's a shortage of everything. The workers' rights are being eroded constantly, and it's shocking, and it's all down to the wicked Tories. But my question is this: if this is such a terrible country to live in, why do people risk their lives and
To get
travel
here.
all over the continent and the world to get here?
Did anybody bring that up to him?
No.
No.
But
There
of course
you
you sit there yelling at the television, but nobody can hear you.
Yes.
Well, I certainly do anyway.
Absolutely.
But nevertheless, it's an awful tragedy.
It's a tragedy.
Young
An
people
absolute
trying to make
tragedy
a new life
when
for
you
themselves.
think what they must have gone through to
Yes.
and their families are left with,
Yeah.
But,
I
even
did,
if they bring the people to justice, it's
Yeah.
not going to bring them back.
no,
is
it's
it?
endemic.
So,
It's huge.
Yes,
I did read
like any tragedy.
pathetically that the people traffickers had offered their money back to the.
Big deal. Yeah, absolutely.
Awful.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're coming near to the end of the programme. So, as I said, it was the 31st. We'll soon be on the 5th of November. Do you like fireworks?
I love them, yeah.
Do you?
Oh, I do, yeah.
I like to see them a display
At a distance.
on the television. Yes, exactly. Do you know I didn't like fireworks as a child? I liked sparklers. That was about it.
Did you never get bangers thrown at you?
Oh, don't even go there. So, you know what?
Oh, health and safety, you couldn't do that.
Oh, no, not anymore. Not anymore, no. I don't like fireworks as such, private fireworks.
Right, okay.
Okay, and on that note, I think we've come to the end of the programme, Dennis. Once again, thanks for
My
coming
pleasure,
in.
I've enjoyed it.
You've been listening to Rambling with Barbara on Radio JCOM. The programme today was produced by Noel Sumroy and presented by me, Barbara Cline. Hope you enjoyed all our discussions and will join us again soon.